Well, hello, mamas. Jessica Coulter here. We are finishing up our series on test taking strategies today. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about test retakes and taking ACT, SAT multiple times and other standardized tests. So, I want to know, does your teen actually do test retakes, test corrections? Is that something your teen does, knows about, takes advantage of? I want to know with a yes or a no down below. And I want to welcome you to my Facebook channel. I just combined words this morning. My Facebook business page and my YouTube channel for Ace Cookie Tutoring. If you're watching, so thank you. And I also want to invite you to my Facebook group, so make sure to join us after the video if you're not already a member. All right, for all of my mamas who said no, that your teens aren't taking advantage of test retakes, test redos, or haven't taken that ACT or another test multiple times, do know if your child can and isn't, that's a big waste of an opportunity. Okay, as the CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring, I want your teens to do well on the test the first time. I know that if your child knows how to learn, has great test taking strategies, knows the content, all of that good stuff that I know I can teach them, that there's no reason for a test retake. But at the same time, sometimes days just don't go well. Sometimes tests are just not meant to be. And if that happens, your child needs to take that test again, if possible. Okay, so that's one of my biggest tips for you in this video. As we are just kind of getting into the school year, your child needs to learn what the policies are. Does the school have a policy? Does each teacher have a policy? If your child can take tests again at school, needs to know how to do that. Okay, if that means only so many days after the test he can do that. It has to be within the first quarter, or if the test was in first quarter, whatever it is. Some teachers do test corrections, which mean your child has to answer the questions correctly and then maybe do some research, do something from the book, write something out, whatever it is. You need to know what it is, but more importantly, your teen needs to know what it is. Okay, because the thing is, if your child wants a better grade in that class, or maybe just wants to pass, and tests are not going well, tests, like we talked about the other day, are generally weighted. They are generally worth the most amount of points of everything in every class. So your child needs to do well on those, get as many points as he can from those. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about standardized tests next. Before I do, I want to encourage you to hit that follow button and encourage you to hit that subscribe button on Ace Cookie Tutoring, Facebook, or YouTube if you're not already a subscriber or a follower. Alrighty, so last thing, and we'll wrap this video up. Do you know standardized tests? ACT, SAT, very, very, very common for students to take that multiple times. And kind of like what I mentioned earlier, maybe it was just a bad test taking day. Other times, literally, sometimes the test is easy, sometimes the test is hard. I mean, I cannot tell you how many students have prepared for the ACT that say, this day was super easy, or this day it felt like every reading passage was super hard, or I don't know what that English passage was trying to tell me. I mean, there are days that happens, okay? And there could be days your child's in a different location, different testing center than he's ever been in before. So there's a whole lot of added stress. Maybe there was just someone really annoying in the testing room that was distracting your child. These are all things that can cause your child's score to not be what you wanted, let alone what your teen wanted, okay? And obviously, there's a whole bunch of other standardized tests that we could talk about that I'm not super familiar with, but there are things like the LSAT, the GRE, the MCAT, and all of those. And I know when I was in school forever and ever ago, they said, you didn't want to take the MCAT multiple times. I have no idea if that's the truth, but definitely do know standardized tests. A lot of them you can retake. I mean, one of my students was wanting to be an electrician journeyman, and the rule was he took it until he got the score he needed to pass. Otherwise, he never got the bump in pay, the promotion at work. So definitely, mamas, do know taking tests multiple times, it's not a bad thing, okay? your teen wants a better grade, better score, that's the way to go. Use each test-taking time as a learning opportunity. And if you want more help, if your child needs some help with this specifically, if you're like, I don't know, Jessica, how to make this happen. I don't know what he needs to do because it's just not going well. Be sure to reach out. Be sure to join my Facebook group. That's the best way to get some one-on-one help. And it's the place where I teach mamas just like you how I help teens love to learn, but teach them how to learn. So click the link in the description, answer a couple questions, and you'll be in. So thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in my group so you learn all about how I help teens love to learn through those study skills and through awesome events like I have upcoming next week. Talk to you soon. Bye, mamas. All right.